Coming up on the Incense Podcast, this is episode 225 with Osaka Go Fest happening right as we speak. Next week is New Jersey, then the week after is Paris, boys. I say boys, it's actually just me, Ian Waterfall, and Mark, Masterful27. We got a lot of travel coming up, matey, in the next couple of weeks.
We sure have, and actually, I've just recognised we are technically boys, but when one of us combines ourselves with the other one, and we're referring to ourselves as one of the boys whilst we do it, aren't we? And so it's us. Is that right? Us? We?
I think so. Let's just say boys as in everybody in the chat. Boys with an I, of course, not boys with a Y.
Absolutely.
Everyone's boys today.
Lots of travel. Absolutely right.
Lots of travel. Literally. 1 week from now, actually, we're going to be in Jersey.
I know.
2 weeks from now, we're going to be in Paris, France.
Absolutely mental, isn't it?
And then 3 weeks from now, we're going to be dying at home.
Well, I'll be dying at the Isle of Wight Festival 3 weeks from now, and I'll be properly dying at the end of all of that. So it's a very busy
global
June. Yeah. Oh, then we've got Global Go Fest. Oh, my goodness. June's going to kill me, quite literally.
June's going to be a big one. But tonight is going to be a big one because we got a lot of news to cover this week. We got a new season. Yeah. We've got the June drop. We've got some possibly rather big news, which we'll cover later. And we've got a great getting to know you.
There we go. What more do you want? Be with us and enjoy the Incense podcast, eh?
I think so. And as we are here, and as Whitfield is not, let's get straight into the guts of the show. So people, please
slap on the incense, boys. It's time to go.
That's right. And if you do get something pretty good while listening to the show or at Osaka Go Fest, please post it on any social that we're on, be that X, Insta, Threads, or Blue Sky, using the hashtag Shinies of the Week.
Clarify the spelling?
Yes, Adam, we certainly will. That's hashtag SHINIESOFTHEWEEK. And of course, the socials I mentioned are not the only way you can contact us. You can send us an email, contact@incensepodcast.com. Or if you really want to, I'd rather you don't because it's more work for me, but if you really, really want to, you can send us your Shinies of the Week using WhatsApp. But we would prefer a voice message on that service. And the number is +44 759 269 5696. Now, Marky,
Ian,
let's talk. This past weekend was kind of Machop focused, very much so. So let's start with the GMax Machamp, because you've got a pretty good story about this one, haven't you? It was a pretty good day for you.
It was. Let's start with the event that we probably played. I was just going to say we probably played, Ian, but no. I
think you're probably right.
I think the GMax certainly it made sense the order they did the events in. To be fair, it was very much you need to build some resources up, play the Community Day Classic, leading into the GMax, which is the fighting type GMax that everyone's been crying out for, maybe a little bit earlier. But hey, we got it, and I did. I left the Shire on Sunday. It was very pleasant, bank holiday weekend, so gave us the opportunity to do something maybe a little bit more different, and travelled down to London, baby, and met up with 3 communities in London that all decided to combine and host a GMax Machamp Raid or Battle Day. I keep calling it a raid day, a battle day. And we went to Gunnersbury Park, which it made sense, actually. Nice big loop, loads of portals, power spots coming up, and probably 130, 140 trainers at the very beginning.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And, I sort of just immediately was like, oh, I like this. This is good. Like, when I did GMax Snorlax, I think we did 8 raids. This one, we played it for the full 3 hours, and there was enough people wanting to play, as you can imagine, till the end. I had a great time. I managed to do, I think, something like 23 or 24 battles, which are fantastic.
Bet that cost you a penny or two.
Yeah. for the love of creating content and socialising. Yeah, I think it's cheap just go to the pub and have a couple of beers nowadays, Ian, compared to playing this game sometimes.
Absolutely.
But it was a fantastic experience. Around people got some really good things, So it took a little while for the shinies to start to pop off, but when they did start to occasionally appear. They weren't they were certainly by any stretch of imagination. Not everybody got one. Let's put it that way. And I think Someone got a Shundo, which was fantastic to see. So I was sat next to him when he got his Shundo. Someone got a Shatendo, which is probably rarer. So one of the Ealing crew, I can't remember her name now, but she got a 10-10-10 shiny Machamp. And I got, it was really bad. Going back to my story and what I did, I got back-to-back 98% of Machamps. One was the good, so one was the bad 98 and one was the good 98. They were like back-to-back. And then a couple of raids later, I got the Hundo. So I was like, right, okay, right, sort of ticking them off at the moment. Jammy Goit. So that was pleasant. And then with 20, I think it was 21st battle in, I did pull the shiny out of it, and it was an 89% IV when I was reliably informed by my.
Still not bad for a shiny.
Not bad for a shiny, and do you know what? It was one of those events where, and we'll talk about it after you've shared how you played it, Ian. But I have my thoughts on the remote raid aspect, but we can pick that up in a minute. But all in all, great day, good fun, nice to get what I wanted out of it. But yeah, I think because these are so costly, that 1 in 20-ish shiny rate does seem a little bit mean. But we know how RNG works. It's not as simple as that.
Yes, it sounds like you had a good event. Mine was nowhere near as big as yours because I stayed fairly local. I did think about coming down to London, but I wasn't invited, so didn't stay local. It was pretty good, actually. The community was out. We actually had probably the best turnout we've had for a GMax Battle Day since they started, to be fair. I think we had about 15, 16 people there, which isn't massive numbers. But the remote invites actually did bolster the battles themselves. So I can't really complain. I did for the day 11 in total, so not really all that many. 9 of them were in person. And I've got to say, the shinies were very few and far between. So from all of the people and all of the accounts that were there, I only saw 2 shinies from the whole thing.
Wow.
So when you actually extrapolate the actual odds from the number of people playing, the shinies were not really that forthcoming. Mine were all shockingly bad. I think my best GMax Machamp was 89%. So a bit of a fail in terms of getting good IVs or a shiny. However, a bit of a win in that we had good numbers. The weather was actually okay for saying that it was awful first thing that morning, and everybody had a laugh. It was good fun. The bants were there. You know what? I think that's probably more important than just getting something shiny or something that's red.
I'd agree with you on that, Ian, and I think you made a really good point then, because I think we've both had contrasting sort of experiences with the remote raiding. So this was the first time you could remote raid into a Gigantamax raid.
Yes.
So,
yep.
And my experiences, certainly for the first hour, was this features absolutely doesn't benefit us, and it shouldn't benefit us in any way, because obviously you can't do the private lobby. No. And actually, if you've got, and this is where you have to measure it up, because I had friends, traders, that were saying, Mark, you're going to be down for like a big number of people. Can you fire me some remote raids so I can join in? But it didn't work like that because there were so many people. They were maxing out 40
you've got
quickly.
Your 40 spaces taken
straight in there. So when you're trying to send them, you can't get them out. You could send 10 at a time. So that was good. So for the first hour, I was very much like going, well, this doesn't actually enable me to do that. And it made sense. It made sense in that number. However, like you said, if you've got less than 40 people with you, and absolutely it can work. You know, it can absolutely work. Yeah. And so after about an hour or so, I was a bit like, oh, no, great idea. They need to tweak this. But then as the numbers started to dwindle, and when I say dwindle, like, we still had 40 people at the end of it, but we were able to hop into remote raids in between waiting for the power spots to turn up. And I managed to fire out some invites in between. And actually, it was good to see some of my friends.
Actually, you sent me an invite. There was 3 people in the lobby, and everyone started jumping out and thinking, okay.
And that was the risk as well with it, but not getting the numbers. But listen, it was expensive in person. It was very expensive if you were remote raiding it.
Can't argue that. I only did, I think, 2 or 3 remote raids, which in itself was nothing. But I thought APAC, people are sending invites out, going to jump in. And the first one was, it was either from Lachlan or Marizo-san. It was either Australia or sort of Japan.
Yeah.
And there were like 35 people in. And it was kicking ass. Seriously, I thought, we're going to struggle to do this because you don't know who you're in with. And if you've got a lot of lower level players
Yeah.
who really are not contributing. You're kind of carrying them, but when you start seeing that number of Pokemon dropping and dropping and dropping, you think, we can't fail this. But having said that, conversely, it was very easy with a smaller number of people. So like 11 people, maybe even less, you could actually do it.
Yeah, I saw that. There was a couple of people who said you could easily do it with I think it was like with 14, wasn't it, or something like that, or maybe
14 was easy. You could do it with 14 without
going back to the point you made, Ian, there was a certain point when I started it, and I was going, flipping, that was with 40 of us in it. Do you know what I mean? And I was going,
yeah.
This is hard. But then, like you said, because even with that sense of group, you don't know who's doing what. That's the difference. Remote raiding, you don't know what people are doing.
You've got no idea.
You've got no idea when you're in a group of like over 40 people. You don't know because you don't know who's with you in the group. So like all you're doing is kind of looking at the bar graphs of the power of the people in your little team.
Should I heal? Should I attack?
exactly like that. Should I heal? Should I attack? And like, we got there, and actually, like you said, it did get very simpler. It was simpler by the end of it, because I think once people had done a 2 or 3, this is a bit difficult, everyone that could reverted to Metagross and a flying type. It kind of like then everyone got their sort of teams right, and like you could just see it working then, and and they were going down so fast by the end of it.
Absolutely,
but a great design. Again, I've said this before, these Gigantamax Pokemon are beautifully designed. Some of them are, certainly. And, so much it's given me the motivation, prior to, even though this was remotable, where I wanted to sort of gate crash a party. And Ian, I wasn't invited, so I gate crashed it, to be fair.
Oh.
and I was a bit like, this is fantastic that I still wanted to do that. And let's be honest with you, if I hadn't done that, it would have just been remote raiding, and like I would have been limited. It would have been a lot of money, and actually, we do need to pull that back, because for the average Pokemon Go trainer player from day one, who's gone through the journey of seeing the game become more monetary focused.
Yeah, it's been very much monetized over the last 9 years.
Yeah, some people have gone on that ride.
It always has been, but more so recently.
And some people have gone on that ride and have kind of just spent, and there'll be a big percentage of people that have gone on that ride and have just held back a little bit and picked and chosen the things they want to do. I think Gigantamax is certainly tempting from my perspective.
It is, and like you say, the Mons are beautiful. They really are. I mean, jumping into the chat, Sue said, RNG was in my favour during this GMax day. 3 shinies, 198 and 296 regular Machamp. I never do this well. Well, Sue, you kind of do.
Sue,
kind of do.
Sue is...
You wait till next week. I guarantee you're going to be flying next week.
Yeah, and do you know what?
Oh, GMax Battles. Okay, GMax Battles. Yeah, okay, fair. I'll give you that.
GMax is. And I was going to say, I saw those and I thought, that's a lovely little collection of GMax shiny Machamps, and I think the beauty is you can trade them as well, and I think that is what makes them really appealing. Because, they suddenly become a tradable asset, don't they? People want these.
They do, yeah.
A bit like myself, I couldn't do any of the starter, the Kanto starters GMax, and I've traded for a couple on Lucky Trades because I just want to have them in my...
couple of the locals were actually doing that before. Well, on Sunday, there was like, have you got any Charizard? Have you got any Venusaur? Because people didn't get the early ones, and even when they came back, people were still not really sold on GMax.
Yeah.
But, Marky, we put a poll out, didn't we, about this battle day?
We sure did. We put a cheeky little poll out. We put it on the Insta. We did ask the question, how did you play GMax Machamp Max Battle Day? One thing I'd say, Ian, love the sideway hashtags on that graphic. Very well presented.
Yeah. Boys learning.
Boy is learning. And again, I love that design in the background. But yeah, we asked out there, and the results are in. And this is certainly what our sort of sample of people have come back to us with. So in last place with 11% of the vote, didn't play the event.
That's positive, actually. So most people did play it, yeah.
That is actually quite positive when you look at it like that.
89% of people played the event. That's solid.
That's what we like. But how did they play the event, Ian?
Yeah, how did they? Yeah, good question, Marky. I'm sure you're going to tell us.
I think I might have to. But yeah, 20% of people played it with a bit of a combo of in-person and remote raiding. Now, that's really telling. Because that's how we both fitted in. We sit in that bracket,
we did a
we?
little bit of both, yeah.
Yeah, we put our left leg in, our right foot out. We
did the hokey pokey.
So now, I say that's a bit of a surprise. Well, listen, this is encouraging. 30% of people played it in person, so that's really decent to see that. That sort of just around a third of people have got a community together, got the numbers together, and either borrowing a community or being a part of their own one have gone and done it in person. So that's really good to see. And then here we go. Interestingly, I didn't expect this, but 39% of the majority just remote raided it. Now, that might be 1 or 2. It might be 20, or it might have been. Could it reset to 40? Ian, am I right in thinking? Was that up this time around? Or was it just 20?
I think when it hit midnight, it probably would have done.
Yeah, I heard someone mention that. But listen, really encouraging that 89% of people played it, that voted on it. And I think this is about the accessibility. I certainly said this last week. It's nice to see accessibility is now not a barrier. It is very much now your wallet that is the barrier about how you play it.
True.
But no, I'm really encouraging. I'm really pleased. And thank you for everyone who got involved in that. We do enjoy putting these Pokemon Go theme polls out to the people. And it's nice to hear what you think about it. So thank you. And again, really encouraging.
Yeah, and speaking of hearing what people thought about it, we also posted on X, our second social of choice. And we said, let's talk GMax battles. And then Sue put a really eloquent post together about what people did and how they played it. And we had quite a few replies, actually. So first up, Chaz Browder replied, from an ambassador point of view, ATM was able to remote 6 GMax, all caught 0 shiny, 198% 0 issues. In person, 60 accounts, over 10 shiny and 1 hundo. Nice. Special trades done and lots of happy faces. The Pokemon was a lot better to catch. We were prepared. And that's great. GG's, Chaz. And looking at the photo you put, that to be fair, that was like a bit of a mob in the town centre.
Yeah,
nice.
I wouldn't be popping into William Hill or Greg's in that photo. No, I mean, I think for me, certainly, this is my first GMax event where the catch circle actually allowed you to throw an excellent ball at it. So I've gone from complete black and white experiences on these. But dipping in, a great post as well. I'd say the sort of reach and the engagement we got off this post was really encouraging.
Yeah, indeed.
And we did get a lot of community ambassadors actually jump on board and talk to us about it. Talking about that, we will put that one on because Wayne, the Margin Legacy, I think it's Margin, has said, as a community ambassador for my area, I have to admit that at first I was a bit concerned that the introduction of remote raiding or remote battling could affect our overall turnouts for the in-person events. However, since its launch, we've actually seen little impact to our head counts. And this is what I like to see. And in some cases, like this weekend's GMax Machamp battles, we broke checking records for past GMax meetups, with Machamp putting us at 471 in total, which is phenomenal numbers.
Ooh, that's a big number.
I feel that having the option to remote at this point did not harm in the long run, and it leaves a great window for those who otherwise can't attend the meetups on specific days and to continue participating in these community events. All in all, our group managed 4 to 5 battles every half hour for GMax Machamp. That is amazing to hear, Wayne. That is absolutely fantastic. Love to hear that.
Crazy, yeah, crazy. And you've got a great community. That's a big community. I've got one here from Joey, and it's not Joey Tribbiani, it's Joey Mc1111. And he said, first time I've done any GMax raid battle. A rural player, so no chance before. It ran smoothly and had no glitches. I was delighted, but also set myself a max amount of 5 battles. Nice targets. I hat off to you. Due to the amount of resources required. I have a quality usable shiny now that I'll spend time building up. Joey got, I mean, this could have been as shiny as a week, but Joey got the shiny and it was a 91% shiny. So GG's. Anything over 90% is solid. Well done, mate.
I'm going to say, I'm going to read one point out here, but I want to feed off this myself personally, actually, after what Jasmine said. That's Jasmine Apple Biig, I think it is, or Biig. And Jasmine's put, quite bluntly, $7.99 got me 7 Machamps, which was a fair price in my opinion, considering I bought a bundle with 3 particle packs and 3 remotes, which I still have 2 of. No shinies, 1 remote, and the rest in person. Met up with the local community, 10 minutes drive for me. Community bonuses were great. Now, this is something I wanted to speak about because up until this point, everyone's asked the question, why am I going to spend 200 poker coins to get double the bonuses on a raid? I tell you what, they were throwing Stardust at you to do this in person.
It was
They were throwing
crazy.
XP at you. Lucky Egg, star pieces. Listen, I knew I'd done a few raids and spent a bit of money in the process, but
with the number you did, I bet you got about
I
$1
got
million.
over this. Literally, right? I was powering a few things and I went, I'm only down, and I went, hold on, I've still got 7.7 million. Bear in mind, I started at 7 million. I thought it was 6.7. I misread it. And I went, I'm actually in credit here. The Stardust was ridiculous, what was on offer for those raids.
Got to admit.
And if you're on that road to level 50, your XP.
Yep.
Oh,
it was crazy. And we'll just bookend this because there's so many comments, we could read them all show. Bookend this. Sue, our admin, Herms Ninja, said, I brought my crew to Wayne's Patch and played with his 417 plus member community. Wayne is a fab CA, and I think we met Wayne in LA, and he is a really nice guy.
That's massive, isn't it? That
is, it really is. Now, going from Machamp GMax Battle Day.
Oh, Ian, I've just worked it out. Wayne, who I read out the Majin Legacy, that's the guy that Sue was with.
It was Milan. Sue just messaged. It was Milan, not LA. Yes, that's correct. It was Milan.
But no,
yes.
He's from New Jersey. He's in community ambassador. He said 471 check-ins, didn't he? So that's where
right.
it aligns.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, he's got one more, but it's the same one. Brilliant.
So, going off of something amazing, what personally I didn't feel was quite as amazing, mainly because it's a Community Day Classic, but a lot of people still needed this. Machamp Community Day Classic was the day prior to GMax Battle Day. So I'm going to keep this quite top line because it is a Community Day Classic and people play CDCs in their own way. I have a small confession to make and I'm not proud of it, but I only played about 45 minutes to an hour of it because I actually had things on Saturday and also I had a nap.
Listen, I'm hopeful that our enthusiasm for GMax gives us credit in the bank for this because, back-to-back events at a weekend, depending on your circumstances, can work or they just don't work, or you can get a balance. Again, we talk about balance. Balance is fun. This was definitely the GMax was my priority over the weekend. Listen, Machop made sense. Lovely for new trainers. Makes all sense to people that didn't have enough Kanto XL. Get all that, and it was quite a nice Com Day Classic. I personally, same as E, we're confiding in each other here, a bit of confessions to each other. But I was very much the same. Lovely weekend. Went out for a bite to eat. Nice walk. Did some forest walking and that. Just got out and about.
Like a good hike.
Yeah, lovely. Got back home, tired, had a hot drink, sat on the sofa and played 20 minutes of it. And
so you didn't even last night in.
Got 3 shinies, nothing particularly great. But like I said, we are very fortunate. That doesn't mean we dismiss it. Doesn't mean that we didn't enjoy it. It just means it's about getting that balance right. And listen, the gifted ticket, the beautiful thing is it's not timed to Com Day anymore, so we can still do the 5 in a row. We can do it's time. It's not timed anymore, so we can enjoy that as well. So the tickets don't get wasted, even though we don't necessarily play it on the day in its entirety. And I love Machamp. Machop's a means to getting there, but GMax Machamp's whole new level.
Absolutely. And speaking of whole new levels, Marky, well, we've got a whole new season. Really bad segue, I know, but the poster for it looks pretty good. There's certainly a lot of Jangmotos on the poster. Let's have a bit of a chat about that in this week's.
It is, it's the news.
So Delightful Days is the name of the new season. And looking at this image, I'm just getting proper sort of California surfboardy vibes from it. It just looks so summery and so fun. And I'm not complaining. And of course, you could probably rip that and change it to Masterful Days if you really was feeling artistic. Francesco, there's one for you. So Delightful Days runs from the 3rd of June right through to the 2nd of September 2025.
I love the feedback already. I think people are quick to jump on with this, aren't they? And they've gone, it looks delightful. It's just it looks delightful. But I think it's lovely when a new season comes on. We've been used to the graphic, we've been used to the backgrounds. We've commented that this one's had a better background on the Pokemon you catch. Maybe Delightful Days will have an even better background on those Pokemon with the backgrounds. If that is something that you're chasing in the game.
If it looks anything like this microsite, the background card could be quite fun.
Could be quite fun. I think it's. I think it just looks.
And also, Mark, actually scrolling through this article, which I'm sure you're
I am.
They've updated the GoFest posters. Pikachu's now wearing its outfit, as is Phalanx.
It's almost like they've now been revealed, doesn't it, Ian? It's kind of like, here they are now. This is what you're getting. And they have been updated. Pikachu looks quite dapper, to be fair.
Well, 3 Pikachus with different coloured hats.
No, well, they love a hat. But I like Phalanx as the train. That's a great. It's a great.
That's a great. I'm not a costume fan, but that is a great costume.
I do like that.
I'm so looking forward to chasing that one. I really am.
So yeah, I mean, new seasons. We said that. New costumes. Loving all that, and we get new Pokemon releases as well, Ian.
Quite a few actually. If you think about it, look at that picture. There's quite a few.
There are Paldea, Galar, Galar, and Sui other regions that are coming to Pokemon Go for this event. Yeah, they're very colourful. On the image on the Pokemon Go news site, very colourful. Love all that. But the names of these Pokemon, for anyone who hasn't got a clue, are Yamper, Boltund.
He's a dog, yeah, he's a dog.
Syrian Lilligant, and Tatsugiri or Tatsugiri,
yeah.
All forms.
It's a little fish. Tatsugiri's a little fish.
There we go. And there'll be loads of forms of it, Ian. So that's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, there are. And the other debuts that we can expect this season, we've talked about it many times before, but Crown Sword, Zacian and Zamazenta will be released as debuts. They're hitting in GoFest. They're actually available right now if you're in Osaka.
Oh, yeah. The good forms, as we call them, don't we? So
they are, but there's more debuts as well because GMax, there's going to be new GMax Mons. Gigantamax Cinderace will be dropped, as well as Gigantamax Inteleon and Dynamax Hatena.
Dynamax Hatena, brilliant, you know. Yeah, they're throwing it at it, and I like this. Before it even starts, we're kind of looking at this, aren't we, and just going, oh my goodness, there's a lot coming. And we talk about the game map staying fresh.
It's going to be a busy season, isn't it? Yeah, it's going to be a busy season.
It is, you know, and actually looking at this as well, you know, it's good to see that we're going to get the Eggs-pedition Access coming back again. So the monthly ticket's another part of this season.
That's one of the best tickets, getting the free daily incubator. I'm glad that's coming back. That's going to be good, especially moving into GoFest, live events, global, because you're going to want to stockpile as many incubators as you can, even though we all know that hatching eggs is a bit of a comp.
Oh, it is a comp. You don't mind it when they're a free incubator, do you? So
you don't.
That's probably the best bit of that expedition. What the expedition is about, the hatching, isn't it? But that's a good thing, having it back for that. We were talking about sort of research breakthroughs as well. You know, they're going to be there. They're part of it as well.
Yeah, and the research breakthroughs this time.
They're not bad. They're not bad.
They're not bad. Aerodactyl's in there.
Yeah, Milo's one's in there, Sinisty. But, you know...
Sinisty. Milo loves a Sinisty. One that I'm actually quite partial of is that bleached coral, the Corsola, the Galarian Corsola.
Giblet's there as well. Yeah, Giblet's just been released as Shadow as well. Shadow shines, so Giblet's there again.
It is. The new GoFest shiny Frigibax is in there. Of course, it won't be shiny until after Global.
That's correct. And the one that's actually been out for quite a while now, but it's still very hard to tell it's shiny, but it does actually look better in the game than it looks like on images, is Charcadet as well. That's certainly it's a decent shiny, to be fair, even though it's very, very subtle. Yeah. But Ian, you know, we've got seasons. Seasons bring spawns and wild encounters.
They do. Let's just tag team the different biomes, because there's a lot to go through here, I think.
I think so. Should we start at the top?
Start at the top.
So we'll start at the top, and we have got cities. We've got Pidgeot, Alolan Meowth, Burmy wearing its trash cloak, Glameow, Scraggy, Litwick, which can all be shiny, Fido, which can't, and more.
You know what? I actually see why Whitfield's taking this week off, because it's a very, very news-heavy show. These new season drops are always big. But in one of my favourite biomes, forests, I love a good... You said that earlier, actually. I love a good walk in the forest. The Pokemon you can expect to find in the forest habitats are the Galarian Ponyta, Ampharos, Sudowoodo, that kind of makes sense. It's hiding as a tree. Burmy in its plant cloak form, Patrat, Petilil, Gossifleur, and more.
I like that. Sudo-Woodoo hiding in its wood. Very good.
In its woods.
We then go to the mountains, which is somewhere that me and Ian don't really go and play on, but...
I actually would love to. You could go to Snowdon or something and just actually play in the mountains.
Well, you went further afield to get a Alolan Geodude, and that's where you'd have to go to find...
That is true. That is true.
Let's climb Snowdon for a golden nugget. But yeah, Alolan Geodude, Nosepass, Aggron, Burmy with its Sandy Cloak, Galarian Stunfisk, Bunnelby, Rookidee, and more will be spawning on those mountains.
Is it wrong that when we talk about these habitats, the only habitat I'm not really big on is cities? Because beaches and water, there's going to be Galarian Slowpoke, and who doesn't love a Slowpoke? Gyarados, Mantine, Bidoof, the god Pokemon, Dewpider, Bruxish, Mark's favourite Pokemon, and Tadbulb.
Bruxish, oh, I hate that fish. But then if you're up north like us, in the northern hemisphere, you get Hisuian Voltorb, Trico, Torchic, Mudkip.
Oh, Milo will be happy.
I can hear him in the distance. We've got Dealing in its summer form, Goomy, Fermantis, and of course more.
Yeah, and if you're in the southern hemisphere experiencing what's autumn winter now, you can expect the following: Hisuian Quillfish, Bagon Turtwig, Chimchar, Milo, the FOMO monkey himself, Piplup, the winter form of Dealing, and Bergmite, because you know what? It's cold. Ice.
It's right for it. It's right for it.
It really is.
But yeah, we talked about eggs being a Conian, but yeah, with all these we get eggs, and let's tag team these little jockers as well. And
yes,
we know how much I love a 2-kilometre egg. Oh goodness.
Your favourite.
Oh, they are. Togepi, Spoink. Oh dear. Duskull, Larvesta. Love Larvesta staying in the 2K eggs. Smoliv. Oh goodness gracious. Oh. And more.
So the 5s, are they any better? Marginally, actually. Larvesta is still in there, but obviously that's not going anywhere. Crabrawler, last year's Go Fest Pokemon. Sandygast, well, that obviously can be shiny. Kamala, the little koala. Bruxish, and more. That's actually not too shabby.
All right, now we've had a few shinies released in that pool now. It's a nice little mix there. 7-kilometre eggs, which I'll be honest with you, they need a big shake-up, and we haven't got it for this season, unfortunately.
No.
Alolan Meowth with Galarian Meowth, Alolan Grimer, Hisuian Voltorb, and probably the only one anyone really is chasing, and I might be wrong, but Galarian Corsola, but there will be more, so don't panic. There might be others.
I still need that as a shiny.
Same.
I'm definitely chasing that one. It's subtle, but it is beautiful. Love a nice piece of coral. The 10k eggs, the kind of the apex of the eggs. What can we expect from those? Well, in the 10ks, Lapras, Toxel, Dreepy, Charcadet, Frigibax, and more. Of course, Lapras, Toxel, and Charcadet can all be shiny. Frigibax will be able to be shiny after Global.
But fear not, because Adventure Sync reward eggs are also available for this season. And if you want to go a bit more adventurous on your 5-kilometre eggs, these might offer you a little bit more. A little bit, mind you. We have Skarmory.
I'm looking at it and thinking...
No, they're not actually.
No, not really, no.
They're not actually, are they? Probably Munchlax is the only one. But yeah, we've got Laleep, Anorith, and Riolu around Munchlax. And more.
The 10Ks do get a little bit spicy, though. So if you actually walk over 50k, then you can get something that potentially will give you a nice little tasty omelette. In fact, the rewards for 10k Adventure Sync eggs are Bagon, the Giblet, Jangmo-O, Charcadet, which can all be shiny, and Frigibax. Yes, we're bringing Frigibax. And of course, again, I'm getting bored of saying it, but it will be able to be shiny after Global.
There we go. We get route reward. Route reward?
Route. Oh, we're getting proper American there.
And 7-kilometre eggs from Mateo's gift exchange. We'll give you these Pokemon. That's Alolan Vulpix, Hisuian Sneasel, Galarian Corsola, Pawniard, Ian. Yeah, you down with a bit of that.
Still need another blue one. Yeah, I still need the
white stripes. The Basculin with the white stripe.
Stripes.
And more. And there's something to chase there. They're all shiny, the ones that have been listed anyway.
They are. And then rounding out the season, I mean, what do you ever think of these bonuses? So, for the seasonal bonuses for Delightful Days, we're going to get one additional special trade per day.
Wow.
I thought that was a typo to start with. One extra per day is amazing. That's 2 a day. Fantastic. Increase XP for the first catch of the day. Maybe not really so much. And double daily adventure incense duration. Now, that one is, if you're doing your daily adventure incenses, chasing those Galarian birds, that's a pretty decent bonus.
Yeah.
Although I just Roar of Time it anyway.
Yeah, I do as well, Ian, and I think that's been a massive improvement to the game, the Roar of Time thing. I think, I just need a trainer that I can do trades with every day to take full advantage of that. So, Ash, if you're listening, I'm coming for you. We'll meet up every night after work and do two trades. But listen, joke aside, there'll be people that can trade all the time, and I think that's lovely. Double roll of the dice on a special trade with someone. I think that makes it spicy. I think certainly when you've had like con days, you've got multiple shines of types, you've got a finite amount to trade, and you want to give it a go. Then this season you can get through quite a few just because of that. So
absolutely, and on the surface of it, I think this looks like I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but I think this seems like a very promising season. I have high hopes, and of course, 1/3 of the season is going to be Go Fest, but I have really high hopes for this season. I'm hoping Scopely, please don't let us down.
So just give us a nice background on those Pokemon with the catches. But I love it. Yeah, bring it on. New seasons are always fun. The name always, like I said at the beginning, makes people question it, but everything on this looks pretty like there's something good to come. So yeah,
totally agree.
Delightful.
Totally agree. Now, you know what else is fun?
Oh, I don't, Ian, but I think no.
Well, we've not done this for a while, and I put a call to action out to our legion of people, and we're going to do something different with...
And now, children, it's time for Getting to Know You with the Incensed Podcast.
Ooh.
So we've not done this for a long time, and I was hoping Whitfield would actually be here, but he's not, so it's down to just you and me. But I put out on Instagram and on X just the other day, we want your Would You Rathers. So we're going to go through a few of these. I don't know if they can all be broadcast, but we're going to go through a few of these, and we'll see where we go with these. So first up, we have a Would You Rather. This is from Instagram, from Sir Puriza, and they say... Would you rather transfer all your Shundos or transfer all your shiny and Hundo Pokemon that aren't Shundos?
Transfer all my Shundos.
Really?
I don't have many. So
I don't. 7, in fact.
Yeah, I don't have many. So I would feel with all the memories created with all those other ones gone, I'm just looking potentially at 7 that I got in like a research day, which don't hold the same amount of memory fun that the other ones did. Like, I can't get rid of my 14 shiny Billy Mewtwo from Berlin. Jesus, lucky Mewtwo. So yeah, Shundos, all 6 of you, I think I've got it going. So
you know what? I was struggling on that one because I first thought, you know what? I like my Shundos, but then I thought, well, my first ever Shundo, that was the Chinchu, and that kind of set things off on a very bad road. But now you say, yeah, there are memories attached to some of the others, although there are to the Shundos as well. It's a tough one. Screw it. I'll get rid of my Shundos.
Yes.
I'll keep others because there's more memories attached to that. Okay, next up. Charlie Wheatley 22 said, and I actually quite like this question, would you rather eat a whole large pizza on your own or eat a massive burger on your own? There's no option to have both.
I could probably do both as well.
I potentially could.
I could do either, and I like either, but I have noticed that pizza does fill me up quite a lot now, and I think a massive pizza would be really difficult to consume, but I can always make space for a big burger, and I think I'd go probably big burger on that one.
I'd go pizza. Pizza's like my favourite. So for me, it would definitely be pizza. So I've got a few here that were sent to me by text because the Insta story had finished. So Shah would like to know, would you rather be blind or deaf?
I would rather be deaf because I still can't get my head round not seeing, and obviously, I think you can your eyes can give you a lot of experiences, and I think certainly Pokemon Go wouldn't be a functional thing that I could do because there's no way of knowing that what I'm doing is actually happening. There's just no way, Well done, Mike. You've got another Shundo. Well, all I'm catching are Shundos. That can't be right. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you're saying, and yeah, I agree. I'd rather be deaf.
I'd rather be deaf.
Yeah, rather be deaf. Would you rather hop everywhere you go or skip?
Skip, because I think I'd get there quicker. I think hopping with my knees as well would probably do more damage to them now. I think skipping feels like I'd get there without as much effort.
Maybe. I think I'd rather hop.
Hop! Ian,
Okay,
hop! You'd rather hop!
Right. We get into the serious
Spoink.
questions now. We get into the serious questions now, Mark. Are you ready? Would you rather always have super slow internet or always have a phone that's about to die?
Oh, that is a great question. I'd rather have super slow internet because there's no point having the phone with fast.
I've had super slow internet. You remember like 2 years ago when I was capped?
Yeah.
Thank you, Sky, by the way.
Having super fast internet and a phone that was always dying, you're not going to get the benefit of the super fast internet, surely.
That's a good point, actually. See, I've got a bit of a workaround for this. I'd rather have a phone that's always about to die because I'd have a power bank with me.
Actually, and there's other devices you could use on the super fast broadband, not just your mobile device. That's a fair point, eh?
Apparently, I'd get very tired hopping. I really would. Would you rather take the new position of event creator for Pokemon Go but can't ever actually play the game, or only be able to catch a Pokemon on the 1st of each month?
Oh, goodness gracious. You're not really playing it either way, are you?
No. I think I'd rather be the event creator. At least that way you could actually play the game.
Yeah, same.
Silverman asks, and I'm actually going to substitute one of his Pokemon here. He says, would you rather never catch another shiny or have every shiny you catch turn into... Well, he said a shiny Mankey. I'm going to say Lotad. Would you rather have it turn into a shiny Lotad?
So, you never catch a shiny.
Never catch shiny, or no matter what shiny you catch...
You're only ever getting shiny Lotads, basically. Do you know what? I generally believe I'd rather not get a shiny because you still get some decent Pokemon. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I don't think I could have every one of mine turning into either a Mankey or a Lotad.
Imagine get like a Shundo Groudon, but it turns into a Lotad after you've done the raid.
Okay, we've got 2 more to go. We'll go through these really quickly. Okay, so Blakey NZ said, would you rather have raid costs lowered and have the shiny odds increased, or have the raid costs increased but have the shiny odds significantly increased?
I would be bored if the shiny rates are increased.
Agreed.
I think I had this sort of debate with a few people I know and sort of said, would you play Pokemon Go if shinies weren't a thing? Some people said yes. So I like the idea of shinies. Go Fest ruin it, to be fair, but we love it because it's part of the fun, getting all those shinies. But yeah, I keep them out of events low and leave the prices what they are, whatever it is, or put them up or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, next two, we're going to round this section out, but really, really quickly, one-word answers. Would you rather be a Weedle with sunglasses or a Caterpie with a cowboy hat?
Caterpie with a cowboy hat every day of the week.
Snap. And the last one, would you rather always have hiccups or always be sneezing?
Oh, that's a great question. That's a great question, because like hiccups can catch you off guard. Sneeze, you have to deal with all the... always have hiccups. My
hay fever has been pretty good this year, so I know what always sneezing is like. Not fun.
No, it isn't fun.
Always having hiccups. Wasn't this one of your pub quiz questions that somebody had hiccups for like 20 years or something?
That was it, yeah.
I don't know if I could cope with that. I think I'd rather sneeze.
And blow your nose every time. That's a lot of tissue. That's a lot of tissue.
That's a lot of tissue. But that is a tough one.
Tiffy one. I like that. Great questions, though.
Yeah, well done, guys. Thank you very much for that. So, where does that take us? Well, it takes us back to...
It's the news.
So yeah, we've got some June content update, and with it, well, we've got some featured Pokemon. Looking at them, it's not too obvious what they are, but we're going to tell you what they're called anyway. We have Shadow Rejoice, which everyone is aware of what that looks like. It's just got a wicked purple aura behind it, which can be shiny.
It almost looks like Doctor Who with like coming out of its hands.
It does actually. It does. I like that. I do like Doctor Who. Doctor Who.
Oh my God, that's going back a bit.
isn't it? But then we have Gigantamax Inteleon and Gigantamax Cinderace.
Don't you think Gigantamax Inteleon just looks like a light stand?
Yeah, it does. That's exactly what I thought it was, to be fair. And I think Cinderace looks like a beefed up Sunkern, possibly with a little bit of a...
It does actually, yeah, like an upside down Sunkern.
But there we go.
It really, really does.
Running out of ideas here. They're running out of ideas.
They're running out. Roadmap, though. Roadmap. Come on, Pokemon Company. TPC. We need Gen 10. Right. So your max battles for June are as follows. You're going to have Chansey, Machop, Hatena, Caterpie, and Shuckle, which basically means your max Mondays will be on the 2nd of June, Chansey, on the 9th of June, Machop, the 16th will be Hatena, Caterpie will be the 23rd of June, and Shuckle will be the 30th of June.
We've got 5-star raids as well, and these change at 10 a.m. on the dates, but we've got Tapu, Bulu, Groudon. I talked about Groudon earlier, actually. Groudon's back.
I love Groudon. Oh, and Kyogre.
Love your Kyogre, Ian. And
yeah,
Cobalion. That's an advert in the UK. It's a cough medicine. But yeah, Tapu Bulu is going to know Nature's Madness from June the 3rd to the 5th. Groudon, June the 5th to the 14th. And Kyogre, the 14th to the 23rd. And Cobalion from the 30th to July the 8th.
Which basically means that your raid hours for June are going to be June the 4th will be Tapu Bulu, June the 11th will be Groudon, 18th of June will be Kyogre, and the 2nd of July will be Cobalion.
We'll do megas. We have mega raids, and yes, they also change at 10 a.m. on these dates. But yeah, there's a mixed bag here.
Nothing new either.
Nothing new. Great that. But yeah, we've got Mega Altaria, Mega Abomasnow, Mega Manectric, Mega Beedrill, and Mega Aggron. Altaria, the 3rd to the 5th of June. Abomasnow, sorry, June the 5th to the 14th. Manectric, June the 14th to June the 23rd. Beedrill will be there 23rd to the 30th. And then Aggron, 30th to July the 8th.
Yes, and moving into the spotlight hours that you can expect on June the 3rd, Spritzy with 2 times Catch XP. June the 10th will bring Magnemite with 2 times Catch Candy. June 17th will bring the Translucent Testicle, Solosis with 2 times Transfer Candy, and rounding out June will be on June the 24th, Growlithe with 2 times Evo XP.
We spoke about it at the beginning, Shadow Raids, didn't we, Ian? Shadow Rejoice will appear in Shadow Raids during the weekends in June. That's every weekend in June. So, remoteable now. So,
yes,
no excuse not to take part in a couple there. So that's good.
No, my first actual remote Reggie Rock raid actually got me the shiny Reggie Rock. I think I mentioned that last week. Anyway, a little bit of flexing there. Let's move into the events. So, from right now through to June the 3rd, we are in the Serene Retreat event.
We then go Instrumental Wonders from June the 7th to June the 11th.
Indeed. Phantom Ruins will be the event that takes us June the 14th through to June 18th.
We have this event that's called question mark from June the 20th.
It's been a while since we've had that
It
event.
is. It's June the 22nd.
It's not been announced yet, but June's Community Day is 99.9% going to be Jangmo-O.
Jangmo-O.
Based on the trends of history, we know that last year's Dragon Pokemon from GoFest will be June's Community Day the following year.
Yeah, exactly. But Ancients Recovered will follow that, and we know that's what it's called. June the 23rd to June the 27th. Yeah, we're creators. You know, we asked them if we could create an event, and they've given us the opportunity. We haven't come up with the concept of it yet, but yeah, look out for that.
Let's put it one way. By June 27th, you won't have recovered, I guarantee it. Anyway, Global GoFest 2025 is going to round out June, and that will be the weekend of June the 28th and June the 29th. And of course, it's global. You can play that absolutely anywhere.
Listen, we love this. We love the titles. We love all that. You know, I think new events having names attached to them, you know, are always very exciting. So let's see what this season's going to bring in June. But as we said, it is primarily GoFest for the first part of this season. So
exactly, all of June is GoFest. So all of these events will work around each of the in-person and leading up to the global GoFest. High hopes. I said it before when I talked about the season. I have high hopes for June. Let's just hope that it doesn't let us down, but I don't think it will. GoFest season is always a magical time. But we have one more piece of news which we will cover, which for us is pretty big.
Big.
So I cannot believe that I am about to say this. And it's a shame that Whitfield isn't here. But Mark and I can announce that for the first time ever, Incense Podcast will be featured at GoFest New Jersey next week.
Next week. Oh.
As notable trainers. Yes, we will be doing meet and greets in the tent with the likes of Trainer Tips, Landor Alpha, and a whole host of other creators. I can't believe this is happening, Marky.
No. I mean, this for us is massive. It's a massive sense of achievement. It's a natural conclusion on whatever journey we go on, to the next chapter potentially for us. This is fantastic. It's for us going there anyway, meeting people is what it's all about. We do that anyway with GoFests, but as Ian says, rightly said, this is almost like it's just that little bit of recognition. And we've been doing quite a lot of work with the creators of Pokemon Go, because we want to, and this is just such a lovely opportunity that they've sort of offered to us. So really exciting. I will be getting on a plane, and we announced that previously, but this is something even more special than American Go Fest. So we can't believe it, Ian, can we? This is hard work paying off, and it's down to everyone who listens to the show, which has said kind words about it.
It really is. It's such a surreal thing to be saying, and let's be honest, I don't think any of us ever thought that we would ever get to this point. But thank you to everyone that supported us. Yeah. It's going to be such an event for us because we've done these events before. We've done meet and greets before, but this is the first time we have done something officially on behalf of the Pokemon Go team. And it's not just me, Mark, and Francesco. The whole Incense team has been invited to be notable trainers. So not only will you see the three of us, but you will also see at the tent Sue and Francesco. Niantic have asked all five of us to actually stand there and represent the podcast on their behalf.
Yeah, if you're going out to New Jersey, well, you're not just going to see us, you can actually sort of come up and chat to us in an official capacity. We will be there. I know we've been told we're hard to pin down sometimes, Ian, but we're very much pinnable this time around. So
we really are pinnable. Now, the official meet and greet has just been announced literally in the last couple of days. So the way the schedule works is there are two sessions. There's an AM and a PM session, and each featured creator will be on one of these sessions. So the morning meet and greets, you'll be able to see the likes of Trainer Tips, Swagron, our brothers over on the East Coast. The Lured Up podcast will be representing on the AM session, as well as Jesse Rachel. Now, in the afternoon, that's when you'll be able to see Incense Podcast. We will be there between 4 and 6 p.m., along with JT Gilly, Landor Alpha, and True Inferno. The AM sessions, I should say, are 10 a.m. to noon.
Yeah, so obviously the main session is the afternoon with us. So we'll have podcast wars, Ian, won't we? Morning versus the PM. Yep. But no, this is phenomenal because we have sort of talked about it in sort of our journeys, and this will be the first time that all of us for both podcasts will be together. Like me and Ian, in fact, we spent time with Adam.
Yep.
When we were in Barcelona, and that was really good fun. The guys have spent time with Ken and Adam and Ken in America.
In fact, funny story, Mark, and I think we've told you this offline. I can't get into the nitty-gritty, but back in Seattle, Ken and Adam were a little bit bored and was drawing things on postcards and sending them over to us. If you're at GoFest and you want to know what Ken and Adam were sending us pictures of, go and see them in the morning because it's not something that we can broadcast.
Do it, and let's see if they can remember.
And if you're there in the afternoon, come see us.
Yeah. But no, exciting, massive. Like you said, this is just a lovely way to see in this phenomenal season in the game. So we will see you.
We'll see you in NJ. And finally, I just want to say, before we jump back into the rest of the show, thank you, Niantic, for asking us. And can't believe we're saying this, we're getting in early. #sponsored.
Woohoo. Well, there we go. Well, we can assure the ears that are listening still. We hope you all are still with us there, please. That is the news, very much so. But that is very exciting. But I'll tell you what was exciting as well was hearing Ian mention the word in the June news update, the word flex. So, I think that because the other one that, let's face it, is very, very much a different level to me and Ian. I think we should have a bit of an old-fashioned flex game, Ian.
I think you're right. Mark, tune your voice.
Flex it up, flex it
Oh,
up.
goodness, I'm
Oh.
back. Now, Ian, I have also got something else which I have to tell you, and you probably know this already because you're very well educated, but it won't change us using that saying moving forward, because this is in fact a Mexican standoff, isn't it, Ian? A Mexican standoff.
It is.
However, bad news.
What?
I was watching The Big Bang Theory, and I was watching the episode where Sheldon and Leonard want to illegally procure a canister of helium for one of their experiments, because the Swedish scientists have got it and they want to beat them to their theory. And there's a little bit of a comedic dialogue between Sheldon, Leonard, and said person in a car lot who's going to give them this canister for exchange of money, where, by definition, the Mexican standoff needs to involve at least 3 people, 3 or more people.
It technically does, because otherwise you point. Yeah, that's fair point.
And a situation where only 2 people can be a standoff, but it's not typically referred to a Mexican standoff. And because the definition, again, without boring everyone, is the core concept is that it's a triangular multi-sided dynamic where no one can easily escape without triggering a chain reaction.
Damn you, Whitfield, for bringing Mexican standoff in over all these months.
But for you, the listeners, and for us, the duo involved in this game, it is still a Mexican standoff. So we're bringing back the good old-fashioned flex game. And I do like The Big Bang Theory. I challenge anyone who doesn't like The Big Bang Theory to give it another go. Right, here we go. Oh, goodness, I sounded like welcome, welcome, trainers.
Welcome, trainers.
There we go. So it's the first flex, right? So the flex game can be anything, and what we're going to alternate this. So I'm going to pick one, and then we'll do 3 rounds and see where we are with it. So typically stat based, and it's been a long time since we've done one of these. So I am going to. We've talked about Machamp,
yeah,
because it had a weekend. I want to know, Ian, how many shiny Machops, all forms, any form of it, have you still currently got in your game inventory right now?
Just Machops, not the evolved forms.
Everything, just go everything. Go evolutionary
so
line
the whole
as
family.
well.
Okay, so I have a total of 18 of the shiny Machop family in my storage.
Well, I have got, and I thought I was probably going to lose this one, but yeah, me and Ian played the game similarly, I'd say. I've got 24, so not really much in it. I was going to say, what's that? What was the best? What was your last shiny? But I didn't want to flex. That's too flexy. That's not fair. So, Ian, you go next, my friend.
Okie dokie. Right, let's have a think. I'm going to ask.
I love it when you do that, Ian, when you go, So I'm surprised I've not done that either. But to be fair, I'm a hoarder of shinies.
I want to know from you, and you're probably going to win this one. Your pilot medal, how many kilometers have you traded? And I will start. I'm actually sub 5 million. I've got 4,955,821.
Right. So, pilot badge. It's easy to find the pilot badge because that's the one that hasn't got anything gold around it, I think. So,
okay.
Let's have a look, Let's have a look. Right. So, what was yours, Ian?
4,955,821.
Well, mine is 2.5 million. So,
one each.
I don't trade, Ian. I do not trade.
I don't trade. That is mostly historic mileage or kilometerage. So we do the decider. Shall we throw that to chat?
Yes, let chat do it. OMG. Oh, my goodness gracious. 54.2 million.
Who's that?
I need to do a bit. That is the one and only Sue. I've got to do some work on this. I think GoFest is definitely going to help.
Even at GoFest.
Same.
Okay, chat. Give us something.
Oh, your tiny Pokemon collector badge number.
Oh, I like that one.
I like that one.
Tiny Pokemon. Mine's going to be...
Right. So, my tiny Pokemon collector is Platinum. So, that's a good start.
You win.
Oh, wow. I got 674.
Nice. GG's. I just generally don't catch that many Pokemon anymore, whether it's X. A lot of the time I am just shiny checking for stuff. So my tiny Pokemon collector badge is, and I do need to put work into this, 308. So, Marky, you are
Good
the
Persia
Game
I'm
Lord.
playing. Bling, 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 bling. There we go. Love it. Love that. So, for just avoidance of doubt, my total, Ian's total, and Kerry's all added together, we still lose to the ninja. 1,471. That's some number. That's some number. That is some number. That's a brilliant number. XXS showcases. Come on. We've got them all lined.
Now, Marky, before we round out the show,
yes,
we've had a WhatsApp message.
Oh, I love a WhatsApp message.
Yeah, we've had a WhatsApp message, and he's been back on. PayPal
Not
Simone.
PayPal. Oh, yes. It's on the end of your phone.
Yo, it's the big bear, big bear beast, aka Pen Pal Simon. I was sitting thinking just a moment ago, what do I like the most about each of the Incense podcast hosts? And I've come to my conclusion. So here we go, in no particular order. This is what I like most about all of you. Ian, I love it that you went to see Game On be filmed. I've never mentioned it before, but I probably am the biggest fan of that series in the world. I own the DVDs and I make sure to watch it front to back at least once a year.
Same.
Oh, God. British comedy of that era. Is it era? Era. Era. British comedy of that era. It's just unrivaled, isn't it? Absolutely unrivaled by any other TV shows. It's a whole new message altogether. Favourite comedy shows, particularly of the 90s, but British sitcoms are a personal favourite of mine. But yeah, Game On, what a superb show. And the episode, which was many, many moons ago, where you talked about going to see it, I couldn't believe it. It was almost in the same ballpark as hearing Mark talking about his pennant for playing Sensible World of Soccer.
these are flashbacks now. These are callbacks.
Very, very good football game that I used to play on the Amiga
500.
And funnily enough, you can download it on Xbox Marketplace. And I own a brand spanking, shiny new Xbox Series X that is used almost exclusively for playing Sensible Soccer on. Slightly overkill there, but there is actually a community of people who play Sensible World of Soccer on the Xbox Live, and we do sort of leagues and stuff. It's all just run off Excel spreadsheets and Google Docs, but it's superb. Absolutely love it. Mark, that wasn't my favourite thing about you.
Oh, you get two things, do you?
My top three favourite things about Mark.
You're his favourite.
Another message on its own. My favourite thing about Mark is the time you brought a ticket to an event in Japan that you weren't even going to, in the hope that Niantic would screw it up and then do a makeup event, which they then did. And you got to play a Japanese Pokemon Go event, walking around your picturesque rural setting, which I thought was just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So hats off to you for that. You got lucky. Any funny stories about that, or like good catches from it? How well do you remember it? Just talk to us. And
I thought he was on the show then, Ian. Then I thought he was asking a question.
Last and certainly not least, my favourite thing about you is your 24-hour grinds.
Of course, Milo's is
my favourite Pokemon Go content of anything to watch. Even better than a certain trainer's tips videos. But yeah, you booning
There's nothing
it
wrong
round,
with those tips videos.
Nick's good. I like Nick.
Northwest London or West London. I've totally forgot the name of it. Ealing. You booning it around Ealing for 24 hours with Antonio in tow.
Antonio!
Hilarious.
Is that your middle name, Francesco?
One was the one where you absolutely lost it and went bananas because you couldn't spin more than 2,000 Pokestops or something like that in a day. I remember you just furiously sort of saying, if they won't even let me play the game, what's the point? Which I thought was really sweet. Anyway, that's my favourite thing about you all. Maybe you could tell me your favourite things about me?
So Simon's brilliant, and he's the only person that, and he won't mind me sharing this with him, because because it was absolutely hilarious. So we were down in Portsmouth. My favourite thing about Simon was Simon's known to us all as Pen Pal Simon, right? It's Pen Pal Simon at the end of your phone. He does a great musical sort of tribute for us in the early days.
Back
And
in the early days, yeah.
we met him, but we met him down in Portsmouth, and he was a great host for us. Actually, to be fair, really, really good, nice to have him there. We were there obviously working with the University of Portsmouth, and we were down there, but it was nice to meet Simon. And the joke we had is it was at the end of I think it was the first night, wasn't it? Or it might be the end of the second night. I can't remember.
It
but
was the Saturday. Was it the Saturday night? No, we drove down on Saturday. Yeah, it would have been the Saturday night.
Saturday night.
The hotel bar
Before the Sunday, that was it. For Squirtle 89, part 89 or whatever it was. So Simon's there and he says, listen, you're my incense boys. I'm buying you all a drink. Let's get a bottle of fizz. Anyway, however it happened and transpired, the only way Simon could actually pay for this bottle of fizz was using his PayPal account, which is hilarious. Literally, we called him PayPal Simone after that for the rest of the night. And it is stuck. And he is an absolutely amazing person. Like, yeah, I think he turned around to me and said that I can't remember. Was it Ian? Was it his partner? Was it his mum? I can't remember. Said that I was her favourite as well.
It was his wife or his girlfriend.
Was it Barbara? Was it? He said,
Barbara,
yeah. That Barbara said, "Oh, he's my favourite." But top guy and Sapporo. How's it pronounced?
Sapporo. Yeah.
Sapporo experience. Yeah, wake up in my village. I don't know if was it COVID times then? I can't remember now, Ian. Sapporo.
Must have been the year. It might have been the year that we went to Seattle, so it might have been 21.
I remember like going, has this worked? Because I couldn't believe, obviously, there was an error in the game, and there's all these translated Japanese posts on social media. People going, does that mean we're getting a makeup day? You know what? And then it was like
22, yeah, post-COVID 22, August 22.
Oh, there we go. And I just remember, like, it aligned, and like you said, I woke up on the morning, and I kind of thought originally it was going to be Japanese time because there was nothing really concrete. You didn't know when it was going to be. It was like, do you have to be there? And they said, no, you don't. It'll be wherever you are, because obviously it was the week after from memory. Then it was like, it will start at this time. And was that Japanese local time? So I was setting my alarm for like 3 a.m. or whatever it was, checking my phone. No, nothing. And I went, oh, well, it's not worked. And then 10 a.m. UK time, I remember being in bed, lazing around, and then suddenly had all these unknowns pop up around my house. I went, right, it's gone. I'm getting out there. It was 6 hours of pure joy from memory. Loved it. So, yeah. Shiny Swirlix was my favourite catch.
When GoFest was just a day.
That was it, That was it. What about you, Ian? You got any fond memories of Simone?
I think my funniest memory of him was falling asleep on a bench on top of Coops, outside of the pub that was in on the post Community Day celebration.
Oh, that was funny. That was funny. God bless his soul.
Yeah. But yeah, all good fun.
God rest Coops' soul as well.
God rest Coops' soul. Rest in peace, Coops. And speaking of resting in peace, it's time to look at your
Shinies of the week.
I saw this one actually earlier today, and I'm going to jump straight in with it on X.
Yep.
And that is at Ultra Instinct 42, Vizgura 24. At Incense Podcast, after 5 years, I have finally caught the Shadow Shiny Lapras.
Oof.
Shadow Remote Raids coming through clutch. It's a beautiful Shadow Shiny.
Yeah.
That purple and the purple all over. Oh, it's a beauty. Hashtag Shinies of the Week and a starry-eyed emoji smiling face next to the sparkles. Yeah, that's how it works. Use that hashtag and you might get in this part of the show. Well done indeed.
Yeah, GG's. Now, Alex Brown used that hashtag, but he emailed this one through to us, and I've got to admit, I can't read one of the words, so I will substitute it, but you'll get the gist. Pooh got one. Lame as duck, but still got one listening behind the Portaloo. And Alex got the shiny seal, the nicotine-stained seal. Genuinely, man, GG's, well done. Thanks for sending that in.
I remember catching a shiny when I was on a Portaloo. I wasn't behind it. I was actually on it in Berlin. But that's a different story. That's the Incensed After Hours, Under the Covers, Patreon exclusive, if you want to hear that story. So in our Patreon exclusive Discord, in the Shinies of the Week section, which Elrus81, Ellen, has posted, speechless. Only my second ever Shundo.
What a Shundo.
Shundo Machamp, caught in Abu Dhabi. Beautiful.
And this was from the GMax Battle Day because you can see the actual Gigantamax button there. So Shundo GMax Machamp. Alan, GG's.
That's a GG Max win, that is. Well done.
Definitely, yeah. And that eclipses slightly this Shundo from, of course he got one. Silverman. Dave Silverman.
Yeah,
He
get
just
him off.
tap on something and it's shiny or a Shundo. He got the Shundo Machop during Community Day. GG's, Dave, but there's a Shundo Machamp there, which was Gigantamax. But taking nothing away from you, in all seriousness, a Shundo's a Shundo. Shundo Machop will no doubt now be a Shundo Machamp.
Yeah, well done, Dave. Well done to your team getting the Champions League under their belt. Well done to your girls. Well done indeed.
Yeah, and away from football, we'll see you in just a couple of weeks in Paris, France.
We sure will.
And that brings us to the end of episode 225 of the Incense Podcast. Marky, we made it.
We've done it.
We have done it, matey. And all that really remains before we get out of here is to say thank you very much for listening. We do appreciate each and every one of you that listens. We equally have to say thank you, and you are very, very much in the camp of being appreciated, to each and every one of our patrons. We have 3 tiers. We have bronze, and we have gold. 3 tiers. If you're a member of our bronze tier, thank you very much. Your donations every month help us keep this podcast running. You're the bedrock, I like to say. But we equally do want to thank our members, and I need to say apologies, Tony of Pride, for the last couple of weeks, and it's purely my fault. We were working from an old list that wasn't completely up to date. We miss your name off, so firstly I just want to apologise for not mentioning you. We do appreciate you, and that will be rectified moving forwards. But our members are KLXVI, Del Hazard X, Spindiana, Laurie Beck, Steve in Norway, CC is Mad, McFloof, Saul Haberfield, Lizzie George, Sander van der Drieser, Neonet, Ellen Rushton, James Alexander, Northern Soph, Tom Cattle, Charlie Todd, Robert Wilson, Miss Summer of 69, Malcolm Grinter, Geordie Castell, The Hot Weasel, Tony of Pride, and Shiny IKEA Mom. Thank you so very much. We definitely appreciate your contributions to our tier, but not forgetting our
Gold member.
who are, in fact, some of these are actually on the recording tonight. JB, our lovely little lurker, we love you, man. Thank you for being here. Kerry and Zachary. Kerry's on the call. Barside 2, Paul is actually on the recording from a plane somewhere heading towards Japan. Mandycroft, Mr. Mossam, and Mufti. Thank you so very much for being our members. Our members, thank you very, very much for being that top tier supporters of the podcast. But we're not done there with thank yous. We do need to thank, and we want to thank, our admin team of Sue and Francesco for everything you do. So Hermes Ninja, I am Pyrrhus. Thank you very, very much. And we'll see you literally in a few days in Jersey. But that's it, Marky. We got there. 225 is done. Don't forget, we still want to hear from you. Reach out to us on any socials, on WhatsApp. We want voice messages. We want you to tag us with anything that you really want us to share on this podcast.
Absolutely. But Ian, I've got some good news.
What?
Oh, we've got a Max Monday on the 2nd of June. And I think someone I think Ken will be happy. Let's just say a Chansey.
Ken will be loving that.
Oh, he will.
Yes.
He will.
Yes, of course, we'll be seeing Ken out there in Jersey. But I can trump that. Actually, no, I can't. Spotlight Hour on the 3rd of June, the very day after, is Spritzy with 2 times catch XP.
Yeah, well, I think okay, maybe I can't trump that, Ian. But on Raid Hour on the 4th of June, we have got Tapu Bulu that knows nature's madness. So there we go. That is your week of events.
And on those disappointments,
an equal mix of disappointments, I'd probably say.
Whitfield will be back with us next week. Hopefully he decides to come back from Spain, but we will catch you for episode 226 next week as we lead in to Go Fest New Jersey. See you then.
See you then.